Welcome to the RGI Futures Lab, where we help you make your organization more innovative. I'm Ruben Stern. This week, pushing forward with long-form interactive multimedia. It's been nearly 2 years now since the New York Times released the groundbreaking multimedia presentation, Snowfall. Since then, there's been a lot more experimentation with long-form interactive stories from many news organizations, including the team at National Public Radio. We sat down with Kainaz Amaria, the supervising visuals editor at NPR, to find out how a cutting-edge multimedia project is born.
There are a few questions to be asked before delving into a massive reporting project such as Planet Money Makes a T-Shirt, a popular interactive documentary from NPR that mixes video, text, charts, and illustrations to explore the economics of making T-shirts.
The first question is, who's our audience, right? And the answer can't be everyone. For instance, if we're looking at the Planet Money Makes a T-shirt project, which is a good example, and also the first project that the NPR visuals team kind of launched, we asked, who's our audience, and we decided the audience was the people that donated to the Kickstarter, but also people that were genuinely curious about where their clothes were coming from and when they were made. So who's our audience? What are their needs? What are the questions that they need answered? We thought a question would be, am I helping or hurting the economy or certain people who are living in different countries if I buy this T-shirt that's made in another country? And then the third is, what are you going to make? What are we going to make? And we could make just about anything right now in this day and age with the internet, which is really exciting, but also terrifying. There's so many things, and so you have to be very specific with where you're going to put your resources and your time, and letting the assets tell you what you should make is important too. So we do this exercise before we report the story, and ideally when we come back and we see the assets, we do it again.
Amaria says collaboration is also key to the process. For its visual projects, NPR amassed a team of designers, web developers, editors, producers, photographers, and graphic editors.
Get all your geeks in a room and see what they come up with. Empower people. One of the things that I think is really important is for all of us to understand and value each other's languages. And the things that, Chris on our team can do with data blows my mind. I will never have that skill, but I have him on my team to collaborate with, and he can take our experiences to another level.
And when it comes to storytelling, Amaria says, it's the story that should dictate the format.
We have a frank conversation. We do the exercise and we look at our assets and we're realistic in our goal. A reporter say, hey, I want to do a borderland. And it's like, well, what's the story? Who are your characters? What are you trying to say? Where's the reporting? And then let's figure out what it should be. But if you're thinking about what it's going to be and you don't know what you're doing, then that's the wrong way that's sort of like the backwards way to approach it.
For the Futures Lab, this is Tatiana Daria.
The NPR visuals team also develops data-driven tools and shares the code for others to use. You'll find a link to that along with this video. The interactive documentary Hollow provides a good example of an immersive online project that reimagines the documentary form. Futures Lab reporter Tatiana Daria shows us how it turns the audience into active participants.
Hollow is a 6-chapter interactive documentary with 30 short clips, multiple data visualizations, and Instagram pictures. The stories are structured to show how life has changed in rural America. While giving viewers full control of their experiences, Hollow also requires them to actively participate.
We provide elements throughout the sequences that allow the user to input their information. So we have a map, an interactive map, which is you put in your hometown and you put in the town that you went to when you moved and how old you were when you moved. And so at that point we have your data point moving across the map. And so we allow the user to make the story relative to their own life by contributing their story in these like data points or Instagram, tag your photo, Hollow Home, and it'll be put into the collection on the website. And so it requires the user to be more active. You can't just sit back and watch Hollow. You have to constantly scroll. If you don't scroll, you don't see anything.
Elaine Sheldon says while a documentary can take endless forms on the web, it still needs to be story-driven.
I just knew I wanted to be participatory. I knew the community, I knew they wanted to be involved and that it could be more rich that way. But, we really didn't choose one technology and go with it. We sort of just waited until that story developed to figure out, if we would use 360 panoramas or these types of tools, rather than just using all the cool new tools to fit your story, we did it the other way around. I think it's a process of looking at all your media and finding its strong point. So, the way that we chose to use quotes, we have the full screen image with the quotes was, those were really special things that people said that we didn't want to embed in video and hope that someone find it. We really wanted to put it out there. I think it's just being smart about using your media in the correct ways. And I think I would encourage filmmakers to step a bit back from video and don't just rely on video to tell the whole story. Don't just create an interactive documentary that looks nice, but you're just playing a bunch of videos. Allow people to interact, whether it's, bring in social media with Instagram like we did, or, we allowed the kids in the community to actually physically draw what they wanted their future community center to look like. And then those are presented on the site in an interactive way.
Jeff Soik, who designed the project, says empowering viewers helps producers break some barriers and come closer to their audiences. For the Futures Lab, this is Tatiana Daria.
Hollow has attracted more than 140,000 unique visitors who spend an average of 16 minutes on the site. Fort McMurray is a project that brings virtual reality into a journalistic context. This documentary game invites viewers to immerse themselves into a digital-built version of a real-world situation. We spoke with the director about how forms and platforms are converging.
Fort McMurray is not your typical documentary. As users embark on watching the film, they're asked to build player profiles and decide on the virtual future of the oil town of Fort McMurray in Canada, while exploring the social, economic, political, and cultural issues in the region. Players are able to walk around the city, meet residents, and ask them questions. Then they're asked to vote in referendums that will shape the city's future, trying to win other players over their decisions on the city's development.
Everything is real. Each place you go in Fort McMurray are real. Each people you meet in Fort McMurray are real. So the more you explore the documentary, the more you explore the town, the more you get points. And the more you get points, the more you can change the city. The virtual city, not the reality, but the virtual city. And maybe you can change your own way to think about social issues, political issues, environmental issues, economical issues about the taxes.
David Dufresne says he created the project because he felt it's time to change the way filmmakers tell stories. And interactive experiences like this one are one way to help people understand complicated issues.
When you say to the people, okay, let's play my investigation. Because at the very beginning, what is it? It's a very long time of researches. We spent 60 days in Fort McMurray during 3 winters. It's a very big investigation. And when you say, okay, you can play with my investigation, you can interact with the characters, you can do your own interview, you are the player. It's like a way to say, okay, let's do your own fact-checking.
With a vast experience in journalism, Dufresne says journalists should learn some lessons from the field of documentary.
I knew the old journalism, I knew the old industry, and I think journalists have to change. Let's go back to the roots of the work. And what are the roots? Take your time and go outside. Go outside to meet people, to tell story, to open your eyes. And documentaries are a very good way to do it.
Dufresne spent 2 years working on the project with a team of 4 others and a budget of around $800,000. For the Futures Lab, this is Tatiana Daria.
Fort McMurray is available in English, French, and German. It can be played in a computer browser or on a tablet and requires players to register with Facebook or Twitter beyond the first segment. You'll find more examples of interactive projects and a list of multimedia tools along with this video. And that's it for this report from the RJI Futures Lab. I'm Ruben Stern. We'll see you in the future.